says that I am live. I see that we have several comments. What's up, guys? Hey, Kristen. Hey, Lena. Hey, Tammy. Love and light to you. Hey, Snowfall. Hey, Flexina. How's everybody doing? Well, I've got some bummer news. Y'all are stuck with me just only tonight because unfortunately Emily wasn't feeling the best. So she's down with some stomach pain. So yeah, I hate to hear it. I know you guys might be bummed out, but it's just going to be me here tonight answering some of your spooky questions. I figured we could talk about things that pertain to paranormal activity. Questions, please, only. I'm not doing any channeling tonight. I'm going to try not to. I know that's what you guys probably want, but we're just going to talk about things spooky. And I even thought about, if I could find, oh, I am on my phone. Haha. But I even thought about maybe, I don't know if I can bring people up because I'm using YouTube right now. YouTube instead of the platform instead of StreamYard, because StreamYard has given me so many problems. Like, so many problems. What? I don't know what to do about it. Hey, Connie. Yep. Let's see if that's better. Thank you, Tammy. Yeah, you can contact me, Tammy, at it's Luminary Luna Beams at gmail.com, and I might be able to help you with that. Hey, Brittany. Yeah, I don't know, because like with StreamYard, you can bring up anybody. So I obviously have an invite link, and I don't know if that works for people without YouTube channels. I don't know if it's a link for everybody or what, but I figured we could just hang out for a little bit. Yeah, I hope she does as well. I think she's sleeping right now, actually. Yeah, I hope she does as well. Let me take these out. Can you guys hear me okay now? Let's see if I can get through the comments. This is totally different than StreamYard because the comments are all the way down. So I'm trying to start at the top and go down. Let's see. Good. Okay. Sounds good. All right. Yeah, Tammy, I have a list on most of my socials and Emily as well. We have a list of the services that we offer. And that's part of one of my services that I offer. It's in I do it in 30-minute sessions for that. Perfect, perfect. Well, welcome in everybody. Yes, and please, if you do not mind, hit that like button for me. It definitely pushes this further out in the algorithm. And also, too, if you don't mind sharing, if you hit the share button, you don't just press the copy button. You don't have to share it out always to your socials. Even just pressing that copy button really does help. Uh-oh, the witching hour for Flexina. Hey, Barb. But yeah, guys, I'm just hanging out tonight. I figured it sucks because, me and Emily don't go live very often, but things happen. We got each other's backs for that. But yeah, so let's see what's going on with Lights at Midnight. On Lights at Midnight, we are about 26 subscribers away from 1K. So we are super excited about that. Cannot wait until we hit 1K. It's been, I'd say, in October, well, technically in July is like the birth date of Lights at Midnight, but we didn't release anything or really like start pumping out content till Halloween of 2022. So Lights at Midnight is 2 years in the making. And one of the things, that I can say about this is it was just an idea that came out of nowhere. And we're kind of in a weird space with Lights at Midnight right now because we're wanting to kind of switch gears and do something, I don't know, different. For season 2, the whole plan was to bring people's stories on, but when we ran out of stories, we started doing reaction videos, and it seems like a lot of people really like those. So those were filler episodes, and now here we are on like I don't know, our 6th or 7th or 8th reaction video. Let's see. Thank you, Tammy. Yeah, so it's definitely very interesting. And so we have kind of separated the podcast from the YouTube channel. So a lot of folks are new and they really don't know the work that me and Emily do. They just see the reaction videos. And I think most of you guys in the comments right now are pretty familiar with what Emily and I do. But we are, we're two mediums that specialize in the paranormal. So the first part of our, I guess you could say, career or life as being psychic mediums, we help people with paranormal issues. We at least try to get to the origin, to the bottom. So origin is something, we just released the video Haunted Origins. So we're going back through the season 1 and we're going to be talking about different topics. So we're taking those 3-hour hefty podcasts and we're literally just having a conversation about each subject. So some podcasts have multiple subjects in them. So we're going to talk about, pretty much anything that we did in season 1. We're going to be doing 30-minute videos and kind of just having casual conversation because we want folks to go back and listen to season 1. Season 1 is named Origins, based on the stuff that, through many cases, I started to realize that there's always an origin to paranormal activity. Okay. And it's always something that seeds the paranormal activity between a haunted person, a haunted place, or a haunted object. And, that's where stuff comes from. Most of the time, it's an easy way to kind of put it in a category and help explain kind of what's going on with people. Some of the people watching tonight, they are previous clients, or we've reached out to them, or they've reached out to us, and vice versa, which we will never, nobody's doing this as far as I know to me and Emily yet, but we will never, ever, never, ever contact you and say, hey, would you like a reading? If we ever contacted you for any reason, and we would, first of all, probably more than likely 99.9% of the time already know who you are. It's not really like readings. It's more like casework. Because when me and Emily do our paranormal guidance stuff, I know me and her do it a lot similar, like the same, might be a little different. We're two different people, so I don't know exactly her structure when she does it individually. But so let's say you were having ongoing, continuous paranormal activity, then you would call us and we would try to help you figure out, at the very least, figure out exactly what's going on. Let's see. Hey, Linda. Oh, guys, Bobby Mackey's, y'all. Whew, that was a place. That was a place. I've heard mixed reviews about Bobby Mackey's, meaning let's see, how can I say this? People say there wasn't crap there, didn't feel this, didn't feel that. Being a sensitive going into that place was very hard. Um, when I have big boundaries. Okay. So when I'm in my space, like this is my comfort space, right? Or home, I'm in my sacred space right now. So it's like Fort Knox most of the time. But when you put yourself, even you don't have to be sensitive to feel it at Bobby Mackey's, honestly. When you put yourself in that place and an energy as such, you feel it. And by the way, Miss Brittany Bewilderment in the chat, she was one of the folks that went with me, and I'm sure down south will probably pop on it sometime too. But we had some crazy stuff happen, so we're going to talk about some things. I'll give y'all a little bit, little snippet of what kind of happened, but I will say on Wednesday, I will be going live again on my new psychic paranormal investigation channel, our Appalachian Nightmare. That's where I'm going to places and investigating. I thought it was just going to be around here, but evidently not. I was able to make it to Kentucky thanks to some of you guys, but I also went to help my client, Beth, which her health has been rough. And I'm going to keep it there because I don't want to give away too much of her personal information, but let's all continue to pray for Beth. For sure. And I'm going to keep her comments about her stuff kind of at a minimum until I talk to her and her daughter. I did get Beth's story. She did want to record. It's like an hour long and she condensed it a lot. and it is audio only. And I'm trying to figure out which platform of mine, I don't think it'll be Lights at Midnight. It might be the Luminary Luna Beams I share that on, because that is like my psychic astrology kind of, not junk channel, but things I do a lot of things on. And then this is strictly like paranormal psychic stuff. And then Our Appalachian Nightmare is my psychic paranormal investigation channel, like on location. So thank you guys. Hey, Tracy. But yeah, back to Bobby Mackey's. Hold on. Some of you guys, if y'all hang out with me on my other lives, you know I call this my adult beverage. It's the only adult beverage I drink these days, and that is Diet Dr. Pepper Zero. So I apologize. I need to get my fix. Yes, she is. Beth is awesome. She's pretty cool. She's a good friend of mine. She's not just a client. She's a friend. But yeah, and for the new folks coming in, if you're wondering where Emily's at, Emily, she was not feeling well tonight, so I told her that I would help out because I wanted to go live with you guys. We promised to go live once a month, so I know it sucks. It really does, but we have to listen to our bodies, whether we're, whoever we are. We have to listen always to our body and always to our mind and do what's best. Let me see. I'm going to add a couple moderators right now since I am on YouTube. Just the couple I see here. I just need 2 right now, real quick. All right. Oh, girl. Tracy, we can't be friends anymore. I'm just kidding. Nope. This is my jam till the end. They say you'll be going out. I'll be going out with a Diet Dr. Pepper next to my bed. Hey, sis. Hey, Ransom. We hope so too, for sure. But yeah, okay. Back to Bobby Mackey's. Let's not let the undiagnosed ADD set in for tonight. All right. So so back to Bobby Mackey. So walking in, like we walk in, the lady gets there. It's not Great State Paranormal. That's the one for Trivet Clinic Center, which that's another conversation. But Brittany, what was the name of the paranormal? It starts with a G, I thought. I can't remember the name of the paranormal team head. I think her name was Lauren or Laura. I'm awful with names, y'all. I apologize. I know faces. That's what makes the internet hard. Like, I can remember y'all because I only have a name to associate with. Most of y'all I can, I promise. But when it comes to like just people I meet, the name, their face, I remember forever. 10 years later, be like, oh my God, I met you at Walmart one time and we said hello. I mean, I don't go to Walmart anymore much, but yeah. But yeah, anyways. Snowfall. Coca-Cola for you, huh? When I read that, I had to read it twice and like, what does he mean? All soda. Yeah, soda. All right, so the ADD's winning. All right, so Bobby Mackey's walking in. It was a little interesting. Like, I looked through the glass doors, and I swear I saw 2 shadow figures that were kind of like, I saw one, and then I saw another, and it walked away. Or, like, walked back. And, if y'all have seen where we covered, I think it was when we reacted to Sam and Colby's video, I got the vision of the woman in the mirror. Those mirrors do look back. I'm not the only one. And like, I think down south, Supernatural, I think it was Riley, might have been Greg. I can't remember. Somebody told me they like saw a different reflection back. That's what I saw, just sitting here from my sacred space here in my room. It was very, very, very hard to concentrate. I mean, it was so hard to concentrate there. It was not even funny because the EMF is so high. In that first whole room, which did not make any sense, the power was on, but they weren't running a bunch of stuff. But there were big power lines out front. But only in that first room was the EMF literally like on the EMF meter, it's like yellow. Um, Maybe I can get V to bring me the EMF reader. I think it's in my Grateful Dead bag in the living room. V, if you're watching. Mountain Dew, yes. Oh, the Mountain Dew. I'll drink Mountain Dew, but basically, V's kind of ruined me on that because he is a Mountain Dew fiend, basically. So Mountain Dew's okay. I'm not a picky eater. I'm not a picky drinker, like, but I can't really do regular soda. It does not do well for me. Yep. Well, Tracy, you and V will get along very well. Over a Mountain Dew, y'all would have a great conversation.
I love my Mountain Dew.
Yeah. It's probably just down in there unless I gave it to you in your bag. He's getting it out for me. Okay, so it may have been Ethan then. Because Ethan is Brittany's boyfriend, fiance, husband. I'm not sure which, but one of those things. But yeah, this thing right here. Okay. You see that yellow? It's probably because it's near the phone, more than likely, right? Let's see. This thing, and it literally stayed yellow for a second, but I think it's where we were turning it on and calibrated. It was dead center yellow the whole time in that front room at Bobby Mackey's. So, and you'll see in the video, because one thing, like, I've watched a few videos of Bobby Mackey's, right? And I can say this. I wasn't expecting the layout because you walk in through the glass hallway with the glass mirrors, and then right there's the bathroom. Right in front of there, like upstairs, is where the possession or the deliverance, rather, of Carl Lawson took place. I did get some activity in that area. Like the building, people are saying, like, why are they not trying to save Bobby Mackey's? Well, that building, you're leaning almost walking into it. Like, it's still not a danger. The ceiling may be more of a danger than anything, and the water leaking. But yeah. So I wish I could set this up somewhere. I don't really have enough room in here. Doesn't have a hook or anything. Need some right there. But when you touch this thing, like if you're ever watching paranormal investigations and you see them tap this, like, oh my God, like, oh my God, it's spiking, it's spiking, it's spiking. If you tap this thing, it'll do it. Like, you see? Just saying. So watch people's fingers for people that like to fudge evidence. Another thing that we found out was a lot of steady yellow in your house, Tracy. Whoo, girl. Yeah, that's wild. That could be power lines too. I don't want to blame it all on the power lines at Bobby Mackey's though, because we got some real deal stuff. The Estes session we did at the end of the night, that will be at the end of my video on my Our Appalachian Nightmare Paranormal Investigation channel. That was wild. Okay. Something dark came through the Estes, but not only did it come through the Estes, it come in the room and I could see it. So there was some comments and things, and I know we're going to talk a little bit about it, but I don't know how much that I'm going to talk. I mean, I haven't even went over the evidence yet fully. V has started, but I haven't. I kind of took a break. My health, like, where I have my arthritis and stuff, it took a lot out of me driving up there. The car we rented was fine motor wise. It drove well. The only thing that wasn't cool was the shocks. I mean, it was like, it was a low profile too, so it was like, blah, 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 blah. So all of my bones and everything, I'm like bouncing around. I even swole up. You're going to see in the video, and don't be alarmed. I'm just going to say it might not be extremely noticeable to y'all. I probably notice it more because I feel it. But my face, my body, I did swell up a little bit for this trip. And it's probably because I wasn't intaking enough fluids and the heat and stuff like that. Plus, just with my arthritis, I can tell. So I did a lot of work, and I swelled up a little bit. And it took like a day for my body to get back to normal. And I honestly have slept the most in the last like 4 or 5 days, and I've slept in a long time. That it does. That it does. Yes, we did the Estes for sure. It's my first time ever doing the Estes session. I'll tell you this, mine wasn't so successful. And I'll tell you this too, they didn't like me here either. We got or Greg really. Greg got a bunch of FUs and like some other things happened. I don't know if we'll probably go more into it Wednesday, but overall, the feeling of Bobby Mackey's was crazy. I do not regret driving up there, first and foremost, to see Beth, period. But if you take that out of the equation, I do not regret spending the extra money to go to Bobby Mackey's. I mean, it ended up being very inexpensive when you get down to it, to the nitty gritty with everybody that went. But I had to. Like, I made sure the extra work, and to everybody that donated to help me get the car, like, it was amazing. So, I mean, I might complain about the pain or anything else, and, we can only hope for the best when it comes to our health. But overall, I wouldn't have changed it for the world. And I'm very grateful I got to go. I haven't had any paranormal activity or anything happen. And some people may be sitting here thinking, like, oh, her health is bad because she went to Bobby Mackey's. No, that's just how my body is when I do a lot of physical activity, and it's been that way for a long time. Even before Lights at Midnight, before any of this. So I can say that. Oh man. Yeah, it was scrambling. Like, I wanted to like reconvene with the group, like even with Brittany and Ethan and Riley and Greg. Like, I wanted to get together and like do more stuff with them this time. But the place is fairly big. It's not huge, but between the basement and the upstairs and the basement, because Carl Lawson's room was out of commission because they had already started ripping things out. But when I found out that the room they did the exorcism in was down there, it's so small. It was so small. But we had a lot of paranormal activity, and I think we haven't even reviewed, so I don't know, but we definitely stirred some things up, and not necessarily in a bad way. Just, being there. And one thing that I'm realizing, that I already know is paranormal activity, wherever I'm at, it can be. It kind of, and I'm noticing that these things, a lot of the things that communicate with, do not like me. And I don't go in there. I walk in there, I'm like, I'm coming with love, I'm coming with light. And they're like, fuck you, So, hey, I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't know what I did. I'm sorry to hear that. Loyalty is royalty. I got to go to the doctor myself. I got to get back into, because I've been having this I was diagnosed with everything 12 years ago, and I haven't lost insurance, and I've got it back, and I've got to go back to the doctor. I'm not looking forward to that either, because that's when they want to poke you and prod you and operate, and I'm like, ugh, I don't like none of it. But I've got to be a big girl and put on my big girl panties and go do it. So it's happening. We'll see what happens. Yeah, and Flexina, that's a good point. She says, I think it's because you're able to see them and may not like you because you are light. Yeah, and I agree with both of those things. Specifically, lower vibrational entities, they do come to me for help, but, I don't want to say, well, entities can be anything. Entities can be even a earthbound spirit. They're more like beings, rather. Okay, so that's the difference. So beings and entities can be used interchangeably. But if you stick to saying beings as like, I'm a being, you're a being, it's a being, even lower vibrational beings of other places, spaces, if you get my drift, they can be called beings too. But an entity to me seems to be interdimensional. And a being, this is kind of the definition I use. An entity is interdimensional, not always from this place, but if they're from Earth or present time, I guess you could say they could be beings. There was a good bit of space for split groups, definitely more space than what you see on camera. Yes, Thane. I think that's how you say that. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but yes, there was enough space to split up. like you could still talk to each other, but you had to talk louder. And it's a lot bigger in person than it is on camera, or at least looking back at the pictures. Actually, it might look bigger on camera depending on the angle you get. But we did the creepy corner. Kind of hung out the stage a little bit, didn't get much. We did Carl Lawson's possession area. Um, we did the bar, and then we went to the basement. We did the portal to hell room, the what I'm calling like the mafia room, or the room of faces rather. And then we just stayed out in the middle of the basement. And then I did go into what's the name? Is it Jolene or something like that? Now I can't remember. Look, told you I'm horrible with names. But yeah, I went into her room as well. Some of the places we couldn't spend a lot of time in because time, it was like it was scrambling, and you're trying to get your cut scenes and all this stuff for YouTube, and then just hanging out, and just we did take like the first 30-45 minutes just to fill the place out before we really ever got into like the formal type video. So this is filmed a certain way. Me and V have some ideas of how to do it and all that. And I'm going to try. I wanted to try to do 2 videos where I did like a little smidget and put it on Lights at Midnight, but I don't know if I have enough footage totally to do it, a proper footage, like to make a proper video. So I don't know if I'm going to have enough footage to do it or not. I know we have a lot of hours of footage, but it's filmed on 3 devices. So by the time we got in there, got the tour and all that, we literally only had like 4 hours. And that sounds like a lot of time, but when you're sitting in energy like that and there's multiple people doing multiple things, it can get a little wild. It can get a little wild. Yeah, they wouldn't let us on the stage or in Carl Lawson's room because they had already demolished that. It was structurally unsound. And then somewhere else, we couldn't go behind the bar. Thank you, Snowfall. Have a good night. Thank you for being here. Yeah, and I know, hey, Autumn Moon, yeah, time does fly fast. The older I don't know. I know there's a lot of people that are older here than me. I know there's a lot of people that are younger here than me. But for the younger people under the age of like 35, we'll say, when somebody tells you time flies as you get older, oh yeah. I mean, time fucking like a rocket. So just saying. And if there's anything you can do under the age of 35, and I know there's a lot of people out here that are way over that age and are kicking it well, but I'm going to tell you too, you get more tired and you better go do exactly what it is you want to do, like traveling. I did a whole tour around the United States. I did that in 3 weeks. If I did that right now, I'd be like, when I come back, y'all wouldn't hear from me for a month because it ain't happening. Yes. So we got 22 people watching and 21 likes. Y'all are freaking fracking awesome. Yes, it does, Kristen. It goes by fast. Oh, and hey, just me. Look, she's got the orange moon. So everybody that and Flexi does too. I just noticed that. So y'all, and Connie, I just noticed. I don't know if that just happened or maybe I just didn't see the difference because I am on my phone. But yeah, thank you to all of the members. Right now we have 10 members, and I think once we hit like 15 or 20, me and Emily are going to do a live just for you guys. We wanted to have a few more people to come on before we did that, so it'd be a little more interactive and a little fun. And we're going to do a members only live. And what that does is, being a member, obviously, it's a $2.99 or $4 or $5.99 package a month where it helps support us. And there's some benefits. You get early releases. So when we put stuff out, you get early release content, and we're trying to bring more to the table for sure. But as you know, I've got my channels, and Emily has her main channel. She's putting out 2 videos a week now, and we're trying to do at least 1 live and 3 videos a month with Lights at Midnight. So we got it going on, but I feel like me and Emily both are probably at that stage where I talk about riding the wave, where we're on the wave going up, but I'm not standing on the boogie board. I'm not on the boogie board. I'm holding on to that bitch right now and just rolling. Okay. That's where I think we're both at. And there's nothing wrong with that because the boogie board is still there. You still can pull it up under you before you get to the top, okay? And that's kind of where I feel like life is. I don't know. Can any of you guys relate to that feeling of just kind of riding the wave and hanging on to the back of that boogie board? Let me know in the comments because, boy, oh boy. Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Autumn Moon. But yeah, we are, let's see. I'm trying to, sorry, I'm not used to the comments yet. Yeah, after you have kids, they grow up so fast. That is the truth. My oldest is about to be 15, and that just blows my mind. Like, she's 3 years away from being an adult. I knew what I was doing at 15, and thank God she's not. Okay. Okay. But yeah, so, and that helps support, like, honestly, me and Emily, the goal, what we wanted to do was travel. And we really want to travel and help families, or just, and travel and do paranormal investigations. And, for us, it's different because we're 7 hours away. So from each other. So when we travel, we have to go places. I have been invited to a place that I actually have to get back in touch with this person because things are changing quickly on my end. Um, I was invited somewhere, and I made sure Emily could come as well. And we want to do some stuff like with Lights at Midnight. I just don't know when it's going to happen because we're going to have to put it to you this way. We're going to have to fly. I mean, we could drive, but after my driving experience, it's 2 or 3 times further than we went, and it would take a whole day. And I don't even think B could get that much time off of work. So we are going to have to fly where we're going. And, nothing's completely finalized, but if I can figure out how to get there, that's the thing. So that's the next big trip that I'm saving up for. Emily has a couple trips coming up, so maybe sometime in late August or early September now. But until all that's worked out, and I know for sure it's going to happen, but when it does, y'all are going to be like, Home Alone, that face. Because I was like, and it's a great opportunity. It's a really nice person. But yeah, we'll leave that there. Wow. Yeah, 27. That it goes by fast. Hey Roy, how you doing? Hey Eric. Let's see. Yeah, that's funny you say that. Ghostbusters Help is Haunted. Yeah, I literally when we launched Lights at Midnight, I actually made one of those. Okay. I know, and I can't stand flying. And right now, like, the astrology is advising people from flying over oceans, so at least I don't have to do that. Good to hear. Good to hear. Well, guys, since I've updated you, I don't think there's anything else, except I will say this. Maybe not in these comments, okay? Maybe in the comments under this video. So this is the chat section, and I know most of y'all probably know this, but I have watched like people on the Paranormal Files, and they say type in the comment section. The comment section is the extra place under the video, under the screen. So this is the live chat. So in the comment section, and you can do it here, we can read it, but so we can save it, and me and Emily can go back and look at it. Give us some topics or places or video ideas that y'all want to see us either react to, cover, explain, like anything like that. Anything related to psychic abilities and the paranormal, or preferably both together. So if you can think of anything, and I've got one in the comments I've had to write down. That was really good. And because I can't remember, I have to screenshot it. Because now that I'm running 3 channels and I'm getting hundreds of comments sometimes between each channel, it's getting harder. I still like to take my time and try to answer every comment. And I'll do that as long as I can. So some of the folks I know watching, y'all have been with us from the beginning, and if not, from at least the middle. So if it comes to the point where, I'll always make sure to read through you guys' comments, whether I can reply or not. I don't know when that, if or when that'll ever happen, but I feel like there's a big precipice of change coming in one direction or another. There's a change. You can feel it. And also the summer solstice is right around the corner, but good times, good times. Yeah, I did. I got beat up too by that car. Yeah, I'm getting to the big 4-0 myself. I don't know. I guess I need to do something fun for my 40th. It's a few years away, but still. I guess I need to do something if I make it that long. Might do something fun with my hair. I don't need to dye my hair yet because this is my natural hair color, but probably by the time I'm 40, knowing my luck, I'll end up getting more gray. So I might do something crazy with my hair. I don't know. People do, 40 things. And I don't have a conventional job as of right now. This is my job. Helping you guys and doing readings and running YouTube channels and social media. This is my full-time job. So if I want unicorn hair, I will have unicorn hair. Okay. I don't care if I'm 40 or not. That's what makeup's for. Yes. Thank you, Tammy. So this is we can do a video on that, but I will say, since we're doing questions, like we're doing paranormal or spiritual questions, this is a perfect example. So Tammy and Sadie, how to try to connect with loved ones you have lost safely without bringing in lower vibration. So what I've learned, and this can be different for everybody, I do not advise, because it's not to say they won't, but in my personal opinion and the way that I've connected, they just generally don't communicate through cat ball activity or, spirit box or phone apps or anything like that. So I highly advise people to not do that in their home, unless you're very well versed in working with energy and knowing how to clear your space. And even at that, that's at that level, and having that practice and having that solid connection, some people can feel that way and still may not be ready. I always err on the side of caution. And some people say that it's like breeding fear or fear mongering. No, it's that fuck around and find out type energy. Okay. And after getting hundreds and hundreds and probably another 100 of people asking questions, reaching out to me, asking for help, between me and Emily, probably more, wanting help because of fucking around and finding out. I've learned to err on the side of caution for people that may not be well versed. Now, if you consider yourself well versed, you can go for it, do it. So I'm starting out the erring the side of caution first. Okay. If I keep looking away, it's this light. I'm sensitive to really bright lights, and that happens sometimes some people, it has to do with their eyes, right? And it could be that, but ever since my abilities, like a few years back, it's so hard to look at bright lights. I feel like I'm being blinded. So it's not you guys. I'm just looking away for a second because I'm seeing stars. It's a little distracting too, but to effectively communicate, you can ask for symbolism, and you can ask for just different like things, like, and this can be out loud, or this can be in your head, because it's all telepathic communication when you communicate with the other side, and it comes in different forms, and it's generally coming in through your clairs, because everybody has access to their clair abilities. Everybody's just going to use them for a different purpose, right? Not everybody's going to be psychic medium, and some people are going to be accountants, or they're going to work in the hospital, but they're still going to come home and have their spiritual side, and then they can connect. What I mean is profession wise, but we all have access to that. So setting up your own spiritual symbolism and cues, so like you can say, mom or dad or whoever you're trying to connect with, if you can show me a sign, show me a butterfly. Like pick a butterfly, like a monarch butterfly, or pick one that's even less commonly known that's in your area, or you can pick it without it, or like a red cardinal, or like some people do change. Some past relatives leave change around if you're not tapped completely into your intuitive gifts. You can also auto write if you like. You can set up a safe space with your guides. That's another way you can do it. You can auto write, meaning that you get a pen and a piece of paper and like state boundaries. Like I open up this safe and sacred space to be able to connect with my mother or my father or my brother, whoever it may be. And I ask for only high divine white light energy from the Most High to come in and guide me with this. And you can take a pen and a piece of paper and you can just write out, and you can do a swirly. I do swirlies or little doodlies, or you can state at the top of the paper, I'm trying to connect with my mother and or father or whatever. And you hear whatever you hear in your head, you write down and practice with that. That's a good way. Thank you, Brittany. And if that keeps being a problem, Brittany or V or Connie, just mute them all together. Y'all know what I'm talking about. A blue streak would be pretty. Do it. I've had my nose pierced since I was 16. Do it. That's cool, Autumn Moon. I know. See, I can't have anything. V's going to want rainbow hair now. No, he wants me to put highlights in his hair. I know what you want. Because, yeah, if he waits 600 seconds or whatever to come back, we'll just... I don't need none of that shit here. I ain't in the mood. My south side will come out. All right. Yes, Miss Autumn Moon. Hopefully I'll have my journals ready by the end of July. I'm hoping. The editing, like, it ended up just taking way much more time than I ever anticipated to get these, like, paranormal videos out. Oh my God, V, calm down. I'm gonna start naming you after My Little Pony. You better calm it down. Oh, just me. I'm sorry to hear that, dear. Yeah, that's him. It can be smells. I mean roses. I know I got a little sidetracked, but people use different types of symbolism or just generally like feelings and energy. It's a fine line to walk, but there is definitely a difference between energy that's present that is like we have this natural gift to feel energy, most people. And the people that can't or don't understand it are generally the ones that talk a lot of smack or have jokes or whatever else because they don't understand it. And that's why we can't really get super mad at people for not being able to understand that because not everybody's meant to in this lifetime. But yeah, there's a difference between higher vibrational and lower vibrational energy. Generally, if you get that feeling like you're being watched and you start to get that, like, somebody's watching me, it might not be super low vibrational energy. You can kind of acknowledge it and see how your body responds. We have these natural receptors. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. This right here, it hurt worse than when I got my tongue pierced because I went through a piercing phase and all that. I don't have too many tattoos, which I would like to get more, but over time they fade too. I wanted to get like a full chest piece, so I don't know. Maybe I'll do something like that as I get older. That's right. It's the universe always has divine timing. And my class I'm teaching next Thursday. So manifesting with the moon next Thursday. Have some seats filled, and we're going to be talking about how to manifest with the lunar cycle and a little bit more. It really works. It does. It's not always perfect. It's not always the way you like it. You get what you need when you need it. And then sometimes you get what you want to. And learning how to live by that principle, we're always going to get exactly what we need in divine timing. Sometimes it's hard for us to be patient for the things that we want in life. And that's one of the ways is manifestation. And just you have to manifest your goals, you have to take accountability for what it is you are and you aren't doing. And you have to section it out in life. Look, we can look at the bigger picture, right? But when it comes down to it, to manifest things, you have to section and compartmentalize those thoughts and actions and work towards them. It's taking inspired action and taking accountability and responsibility, but also not being too hard on yourself for when you cannot do things. Like, you don't want to get too obsessive with things. There's a fine line for everything, but that's kind of one of the rules to manifestation. Yeah, I've heard that loyalty is royalty. I've heard that too in my ears. And I mean, it can mean different things for different people because we all have our own symbolism and stuff like that, which is another thing that I want to do a journal on. I'm going to make a journal for psychic symbolism. That's going to come out. That's one of my other topics that I want to do. That's probably going to come out either at the end of this year or first of next year or sometime then for psychic symbolism. And I'm going to make prompt style journals for that. I might even do it in hardback too. I don't know. But that's super important. Like, depending on which year's ringing, I always get that when there is a pressure change, either when it's biometric change, like in the weather, or I've had like total spaces, like the energy when something enters the room, it just literally drops. And that's when you know shit's about to hit the fan. Yes, Connie, I'm excited to have you. And I don't know if anybody else wants to be named, but yeah, I'm sending you much love, just me. I was thinking about you today, girl. That's interesting. That might be why. So we're sending you bunches of love and light. Hmm. Yeah, sometimes it can be certain things like weather or, because even though I say most of us here believe in something paranormal, supernatural, unless you're on the fence, and that's cool. I'm not here to convince anybody anything. Like, once you experience it, and once you experience it more often and you realize, like, oh, there's something to this, oh, I'm not crazy, because other people are seeing the same thing too, and I've never met them in my life, things like that. I lost my train of thought. Pooh, it was to a comment. Oh well, but anyways, I'll keep going with that. But once you get to that point, you can't deny it. It's there. We can't hold them accountable for that. It was somewhere in here, I know it. Oh, in the class, yeah, the other people, I don't know if you guys want to be named or not, but excited to have you all here. It's going to be fun. I'm going to try to keep it around 2 hours and make like the last little bit of time to answer questions. And I'm going to be doing more classes, but I don't know if I'll do all. I probably won't do all of them as like this, like with Zoom. There'll be Zoom. Some of them will be pre-recorded. So they'll be, a lot more affordable, more like beginner stuff, because some of the classes that I do will require a certain level of understanding. So there'll be like a build up. Like, I'm still working on all that too. So I know I'm crazy. I'm a Gemini, right? So my sun sign's a Gemini. I'm a moon and rising Cancer. So a lot of my intuition comes from that Cancer part, but the Gemini part gives me those ideas. Like, I need about 3 or 4 of me to complete everything. I wish I had help. Like, one day, it'd be nice to outsource the editing and stuff like that. I'm going for, I think all around, I'm shooting for the whole paranormal investigation thing. I really enjoyed that, and I really enjoyed teaching. And that's exactly the route that I'm going here. That might have been what I was talking about, Autumn Moon. Thank you. This, by the way, says ringing in the ear is your pineal gland opening and healing. Good point. That might be what I was talking about. Connie has tattoos older than me. Rock on. That's awesome. Sorry, I know my thing. It's going back and forth. You're welcome, just me. But yeah. Oh, and hey, Leo. How much does your birthday play into your metaphysical gifts? I will say this. We all have a different time and a place in life when they're supposed to hit. And we go through that spiritual awakening because unless you're raised in a life by people that are already super spiritual, which, and that can look like many different things. Your birthday can play a lot on that because your birthday is the day that you were born, right? And that sets up who you are in this life according to astrology. So for me, I can tell you from my perspective, Saturn returns happen between like 27 to 31-ish. And you get that energy for those years, and that's when Daddy Saddy or Saturn comes back around, sets the rules, sets the regulations. It does a lot of things really to us that puts us on our path. Hold on. Getting the talking mouth. That puts us on our path. And a lot of people, if they don't find that type of spiritual stuff, it happens either when we're young, sometimes like around spiritual age of accountability, it can happen too. So that can be different for everybody, but sometimes it's around the age of puberty. So that's different for everybody, but we can say average, about 11 to 13. And then, every time your birthday comes back around, that's a solar return. It's celebrating you. So, I mean, every year we grow and we learn, but then you also have people that put themselves in stagnation. So, truly, it's up to you for the most part, because either your higher self is ready, even if your self here on earth isn't. But those are some significant times. Also, around the age of 25, when you have your Chiron return. Chiron, the wounded healer, like it's a part of us that needs the healing in this life. And to be able to start to go on this path, we have to heal. And healing is a big part of that. And a lot of people, it's a misconception that you can be fully intuitive and have all these gifts. You have to be a perfect individual and you got to be fully healed. That's not always the case. Sometimes we get these big downloads and our intuition and still be broken in some places, but doing this work can heal you. Pulling in the light can heal you. It's like I know I was in a really bad place during my Saturn return, and I come out of it and I come out of it with no choice but to do this work. I never ever I knew I was different when it come to like knowing things, seeing things. Like some people just despised me, and I get really truly like at work or stuff like that. How I'm acting right now is the same way that I would act any other place, except sometimes I'm grumpy if I don't have coffee. Or what is it? Chocolate sometimes, or cigarette. But besides that, or if my kids pull the mommy, 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 mommy from Family Guy. Besides that, I'm a pretty get alongable person. Um, it's just your light. I mean, that's another thing. Like if you have noticed that you've given it your all and you're doing your best, and people kind of gravitate to either really like you or really hate you, especially in the workplace or stuff like that. Not always, but sometimes it's our light, especially people that aren't very nice people or make the moral least like morally standing choices. The people that would normally do you dirty or something at work. I struggled with that. Like, I didn't realize why I was so sensitive. I didn't realize why I was like always like emotionally open at work. And after so long, because I waited tables and I bartended. I bartended more than I waited tables, and like bar management, and worked in weddings and stuff. And after being places so long, I noticed that I would pick up on them. And the last place that I worked, I had paranormal activity, big time. They were trying to communicate with me, and I didn't realize it. And yeah, I told people at my job what me and B had heard one night, and they laughed at me, and they never looked at me the same again. We heard some crazy stuff, and then it started happening around them. It was funny. But now I have the story to that place. I have a lot of little stories that I do want to share. Hey, Lisa. Yes, that's true. Yeah. Hey, Kyle. Yeah, thank y'all. If I miss a question, sometimes I get to talking and then the questions go up. I'm looking back. Yeah, Autumn Moon. It's tough working in there, in those places, and like all kinds of different people. And a bartender's a little bit different than waiting tables. It's like when you wait tables, people aren't as nice to you. But if you're the bartender, they know you can say, no more for you, buddy. So they tend to be a little bit nicer. I was a damn good bartender. I still probably am. I just haven't mixed drinks in a long time. But I joke because, I planned weddings. Actually, I've got a wedding I'm planning in October. I get to go spend a few days and make sure this wedding of a longtime friend of mine, her daughter's getting married. And I'm going to make sure it's done right because done quite a bit of them. That's going to be fun. That's in October, spooky season. Yeah, Leo, it's tough. It really is tough. And a lot of time it's you can be the most happiest version of yourself, and somebody's going to see that light. That just take it as flattery because you're doing you, and that's what matters. Confidence stinks to some people. Okay, confidence, security, like when some people that are lower vibrational, and we have to remember to try to love them no matter what, right? We're not going to sit here because we never know what's going on behind closed doors, and sometimes people are just shitty, right? But sometimes we just have to love them from a distance, like family or friends. Like before this, I lost so many friends, and it was a good thing because the things that were going on wasn't my cup of tea. So, and for multiple people, and that's how it is. Life changes around your Saturn returns. Thank you, Tammy. Yeah, it's crazy. Like I will say this, following spirit, divine spirit, not just, that's one thing I say to people, it's okay to call out to spirit, but every once in a while I try to remind myself, the universe knows your intentions, but it's a good practice and a good habit to say the most high, benevolent, higher vibrational beings. You can cut that down and make that to whatever it is, because when I was 23 going through a really bad like depression, life stuff, I used tarot cards really for the first time, and it fucked my life up because I wasn't carrying the right energy to be able to wield those cards. I mean, it gave me the advice, and it would make me depressed. Like if you're in a vulnerable situation, the best thing you can do is find somebody that you trust to talk to about this, whether they're intuitive or not, or find a really uh, an intuitive teacher you're called to, because there's so many people that really do scam people. There's so many people that really do that, and it really that really does make me angry because there's people out there that are very vulnerable and just don't know. Because I realize I used to look at people on TV that did this type of work, and I'm like, wow, they're amazing. How do they know that? It's almost like, oh, mystified. And look, I'm just a normal person, okay? Just normal. I just connect. I've learned how. It's a learning thing. It's something that can, just be given to you. And it was given to me, but we still have to hone in on those skills. Most people don't come like right hatched out of the egg here, being able to fully communicate with dead people or other things like we do. I mean, it's just so much. Everybody's different. Some people do, but most people don't. We have to learn. That's right. Negative people cannot stand positivity, but they can change. Midnight margaritas. Whoop, whoop. Oh, yeah. Loyalty is royalty. Yes. Cleaning up puke. That was sometimes I couldn't. And, your bartenders shouldn't have to always do that, especially when you have doormen and stuff, but they still made us clean the bathrooms. And I'd be the only one that would do it without saying anything. But sometimes I couldn't. I'd walk in there and be like, I couldn't do it. Mm-mm. I'm like, y'all gonna have to do this. I had a pretty strong stomach, but mm-mm. Yes. Light stiller vampires. Yes. And another word, I guess would you say, autumn moon, would you, for that saying, that's the first time I've heard about it like that. Is that basically the same as energy vampire to you? Because I would throw that in that pile, but there probably is a little bit of both. Light stealers and energy vampires is probably two separate things, but could be classified as one. That's true. Energy vampires, those are the people that continually want from you. Like always, they continually want something from you. And there's never an equivalent energy exchange. Or they're the type of people that will say something to your face but go and act completely different behind your back. Yeah, Connie, Saturn returns happen around the age of, we'll just keep it simple. Saturn does a full circle from the time you were born. It takes 29 and a half years roughly for your Saturn return to hit, but that energy starts to become relevant about a year or two on each side. So upcoming to like the conjunction and on the other half. So you are now in another Saturn return. So 60, you say 29 and a half, 58, or 60. And then your Chiron returns happen at 25, 50, 75. If you make it all the way to like 97 or, yeah, 97, or 87, 97, you'll have another one. Kristen, I believe you, girl. You can just, you can, oh, I'm glad you feel safe here. I was going to say, you can always message us. Don't, and we have a group, Lights at Midnight Facebook group, which I would like to get more active. Some of you guys are in there. I tried to post when I can in there, and I've been meaning to do an update, but we have a group, like, and it's almost like a support group, but you're always welcome to message. So, and I'm glad that you feel that way. I'm sorry, it's so hard to read this with this light. And I can't see all the words because my face is here, and then there's another head chat here that says waiting. So when I'm reading some of y'all's stuff, I can't see all of it. I might turn it on my laptop because it's straining the crap out of my eyes. You're welcome, Kristen. And I do, there's a lot of people that do. I'm just saying this as a blanket statement. I do get a lot of messages sometimes, and sometimes I have to like wait till a certain time of day to message back because of everything that's going on. So if you message me right now and I haven't got back to you, it's because, trust me, there's a lot of going on right now. And I try not to make it more than a day, right? But just bear that in mind if you are to like message me and stuff like that. As of right now, and the people that kind of hang out with us, I can keep up with everybody, and all that stuff. And I don't mind, at least say hello and stuff like that. But I do want to say that, like, if you ever message me and I don't see it, it might go to request. So don't be upset if, it's more than like a half a day. Is probably just because I've got something going on, either between homeschooling my kids, the either content, lives, or readings. I've been doing readings too, which have picked up lately, or at least I know this week I had two. So compared to May, so I've been a little bit more busy this month. But right now I'm actually pretty called up. So I'm actually booking for next week, which might be, or the last 2 weeks in June. And then in July, we're hoping, maybe in July, I know we are going to do it. I just don't know when. We're going back to the Trivet Clinic Center, but I'm trying to rent it out with just 4 people because I want to do like a full on psychic investigation. Like, of course, I'll do the paranormal stuff, but I want to go through there literally. I'm not trying to copy Amy Allen, but I mean, I want to do that. I mean, that's what I do. I want to walk through there and maybe have like the cat balls set up or something, but like do a full walkthrough of that place and like really dig into the history where I can concentrate. Because one thing about the paranormal equipment I have found out, it does send me a little for a loop. And there's a distraction because I have boundaries, right? Big boundaries, like I said. When I go out in public, it's almost like I put up these walls to not pull in information. At Henry River Mill, I could. Bobby Mackey's, I'm not satisfied with what I got, but I'm very hard on myself. I'm always hard on myself. I'll put out content, and Emily, if she was here, she'd laugh. But like I always say, like every time we put out a podcast or every time we put out a video, I was like, that was shit. I sounded like shit. She's like, you sounded fine. I'm like, we'll see. And I go back and I'm like, oh my God, that sounded great. So I'm always too hard on myself. But, it's not necessarily always a bad characteristic to have as long as you can let it go. Because a lot of people are hard on themselves. That just drives you to do better. Like you just constantly want to improve. And there is a line you can cross there, but it reminds me of somebody else. I know this is a big jump here, okay? But that's how Mr. Beast is. He's always doing better, and just looking into some of his stuff, like his interviews and stuff. I know some people don't like him and stuff like that, but the work that he does for people is really cool. So outside of everything else and how he's got there, it comes with like not being satisfied, but then like, okay, it's enough. But I think he takes that to the extreme. But he does a lot of nice things for people. No energy vampires. That's right. Yeah, that's true. Autumn Moon. She said sometimes people can be more than one thing in the native way. And you know what, Autumn Moon, I have a lot of Cherokee in me, and I am so totally drawn to that. Like, I'm I'm almost positive the lead or the chief of the Eastern tribe, Cherokee tribe, is like a distant cousin of mine because of the name. And I'm not going to go into any more detail, but I'd be happy to tell you, Autumn Moon, privately, or whatnot. But the name and the looks of some of my family members, yeah. And I'm very interested. The whole point of that is I'm very interested in learning about the culture more. And I don't live very far away from Cherokee in retrospective, so I can pretty much go out there, as long as the car is ready, as long as I have a decent car to get there. It don't take super long. I want to go to a powwow, and they have them near me too. Actually, sometimes it'd just be nice because I feel it. I know I have my Native American grandmother or ancestor guide, big time. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I was supposed to. I gotta quit looking at this screen. I know because my head's like, ooh, y'all don't want to get all this up close. Okay, let me back up a little bit. Let's see. It might take a sec. Well, no, I can do it from right here. Okay. Let me make sure I got it turned all the way down. All right, this is much better. Yeah, Flexina, she's always about, she wants her answers right now, which there's nothing wrong with that girl. We got to strive for that in this, in this situation and spirituality and stuff. It's good to be curious and it's good to ask questions, because, not everybody's going to have the same answer and that's okay. That's another thing about the spiritual community that kills me. Like, of course, there's within reasons of moral values, but those values are on a sliding line for everybody. Okay. And there is some spiritual guidance person out there or individual out there for everyone until you get to that point where you're enlightened enough and you find another mentor. It's commonly something I've heard referred to as like, this is very vulgar, but this is the term I've heard. It's like almost like killing of the cattle, but with your teacher. Eventually you grow out of your first teachers and you grow into somebody else in whatever path that you take. And that's okay. As a teacher, myself, I want to see people grow. Like, I want somebody grow ahead of me. Come on. Like, I've always been that way. I always want to uplift people, even when it was just doing my bartending business. And I can't do that anymore because of my physical ailments as well. I wish I could because I'd be out here doing it, but I can't. I always wanted to help people, hire people, and just push people. Like when, that's just who I am. And main thing about energy vampires and stuff, they're going to try to hold you back. Whatever way they can. Sometimes they're sneaky. Okay. Sometimes they do it subtly. Then you have people that practice certain, religions or spiritualities or, they practice certain things and they put things on people and, there's always light and dark to everything. Hey, Desiree. How's it going, girl? I'm not supposed to look at that no more. I gotta look right here. I don't know, V, if there was too much protection to connect. That could be what it is, but honestly, my brain felt like scrambled eggs. At Bobby Mackey's, my brain felt like back in the 90s. Was it the 90s or the early 2000s? Probably the 90s, where they cracked the egg on that skillet in the commercial, and they're like, this is your brain. This is your brain on Bobby Mackey's. Okay, y'all get where I'm going? That's what it felt like. But fair enough. People would go there and get sheet-faced. I'm going to make a shirt that says that. I'm going to steal that meme. I literally thought about that today or yesterday to make a shirt that says sheet-faced, like with a ghost. It doesn't really fit in with our vibe, but I still think it's funny. But people went there to get messed up. It's a honky tonk. They were out there doing their thing, drinking their Bud Light and Miller Light and Mick Ultras. Because I know that's what they were drinking there. Highly doubt. They probably had Jack Daniels and like liquor, but there's probably no damn good beer there. That was disappointing. But I guarantee there was that. I was a craft beer drinker when I drank, and I brewed it too. But yeah, that could have had something to do with it. So if you were highly like sensitive, like Brittany, she's sensitive for sure. We figured that out a while back when I met her, because I met Brittany at an event here in North Carolina, and that's how we met. Good to hear, dear. And I sent an email to you. I hope it came because I forgot to press send before I fell asleep last night. You know who you are. I did. I was like, I think V come in and said something to me, and I was over here typing away, and he said something, and then just within, he come tell me bye for work or something like that. And within like 5 or 10 minutes, I've been going to bed early, y'all. Like, probably not super early, but early enough. Some of y'all know my schedule. I have been zonking out. I kind of don't like it, but it's not that bad because I get to see like the morning sun, which is me in rare form. I might get a little tan on my pale ass. I don't know. I can't look at the screen. I can't look at the screen. And what is that meme? It's like, I can't. I can't because it hurts my eyes. It's like burning. I feel like my eyeballs are going to burn. My corneas are like getting sunburnt right now. I want to look at y'all like this. Okay, so get off me. Get off me. Let's see. It says, Autumn says, you love people. I'm not supposed to look at that one. Dang it. I keep trying to do it. Where is it at? You love people. Look, my head's so big. That's why I don't need to be up here. This whole live's going to be my face like this, y'all. You need to calm down, V. Calm down. You're making me self-conscious now. I don't know if I'm looking at the screen or not. I'm just picking. It says, you love people. They need you when they need you then. We are therapists. That is so true. There is no like there is no certificate. You can, but they're not accredited, right? But we really are kind of like counselors. We can say our spiritual life coaches and coaches, which is very similar. I've had therapists, people that are practicing therapists, come to me for spiritual therapy, and that blew my mind. Like when I realized how many people in the medical field and stuff would actually contact me for help and find a value in it. It almost gave me, to find more value in myself. Believing in yourself is hard. So, and I found that. I found, with this work, it has allowed me to believe in myself and love myself. And it doesn't take this kind of work to find that. If y'all don't know what this is right here, y'all are missing out. I'm sorry, but if you ever come to North Kakalaki, or I don't know the surrounding states, but you gotta go. You gotta go here. Okay. Probably Georgia. I think Georgia too, because of someone that was on here that said that one time. I'm sure they don't want to be named, but did I get my shirt? Autumn, do you mean like, have we ordered one of our merch shirts from Our Appalachian Nightmare? Is that what you mean? I did not yet. We're going to, though. So we created merch for Our Appalachian Nightmare, and we did cryptids and stuff like that. I know someone did get a shirt, and I posted it. It was pretty cool. It looks really good. Hey, Cassie. It's just my head tonight. I don't know. I can't make it like where I was going to invite Emily. Like there's a little slot under me to where it would have come up on her channel. So it's just a very close up of my face. So hope it's not too scary. I didn't put on my full face so you can see all my scars. Y'all, you want to know how I got these scars? Acne. That's how I got them. Oh, God. Look, I'm hitting that hour and a half mark where I start to get silly. Yep. The Miller High Life. That is the honky tonk. Good deal. I'm glad you got the email, dear. You were zonked out earlier. You know what? I did too. I've slept the most. I don't know if has anybody else been sleeping a lot here lately, more than normal, or at least feeling more tired. I'm starting to wonder if it's having something to do with like the transit or the solar flares, which I have not kept up with. Like when I say I laid here and watched people mudlark and make candy, like not a lot of my day, but a good little portion. I would say a few, at least 3 to 4 hours a day. I laid here and watched people do cool but mindless things in a way to clear my mind and to let my body heal. That's what I've done. Most of the time I like educational stuff and I like learning things a lot. Like I really do. But this time I gave everything a rest and just zoned out. I do know the surrounding states. I just don't want to say it. Yeah, if y'all do end up getting so in the link in the description box there's links to me and Emily and how you can look at like all of the services we offer and stuff like that. And on my link, if you were interested, you can find our Appalachian Nightmare. I don't know if I put the bonfire link in there yet though. I'll have to do that. But yeah, it's under my Luminary Luna Beams link tree. You've been tired too, Brittany? But yeah, if y'all do get any merch, if you feel comfortable, you don't even have to take it with it on you. If you feel comfortable, tag us. That would be great. This will probably be the only merch I ever. I'm gonna put some like luminary stuff on there too, like really more feminine, masculine, and neutral things. So that'll probably only be on our Appalachian Nightmare because I don't need merch for luminary. I don't need merch for anything, but I don't need but one. Just like I don't need but one Patreon. I've already got 3 YouTube channels, and YouTube makes me do that. Blame YouTube, or I'd have put it all in one channel. I'd have done it, but that's not how YouTube works, unfortunately. Mentally, spiritually, Tammy, just tired. Yeah. Oh yeah, I got the Bobby Mackey's t-shirt. I don't know where it's at though. It's somewhere in here. Maybe. I'm not going to find it right now. But I did get it. I didn't get one any not one. Wait a minute. Hold on. I did not get the one that had the haunted thing on it. I got the one that had the building on it, since the building probably won't be there after next month. Um let's see. I like I don't know, that's really hard. I love the Mothman one, okay? I really like the Mothman shirt, but I kind of like the rake because out of all the things that I have seen cryptid wise, I've seen rakes, like a lot of them. The white guy, he's like all white. Matter of fact, that may be something coming up in the near future, something similar. I'm not going to call it a rake, but something similar you may see. That's all I'll say. From me, actually. I think that the Mothman's really cool though, because I've always liked the Mothman story, and I mean I like Bigfoot too, but everybody likes Bigfoot, so I like to be different. I different. Okay, yeah, naps are needed, y'all. We got to take our naps. Flexina, solar flares have made a lot of people tired. Yeah. Okay, because I figured they had to be like up and going, like flaring. I know, wait a minute. We had like an emissions thing too. I heard on the news, and I hadn't really even kept up with that crap. But there was some type of like fill up during the morning or the evening because of the emissions. And it probably is because the ozone layer and everything. It's probably because of that. Yeah, the earth is changing. I agree. Things are going to look totally different. And, you know, there's all kinds of theories about once we evolve, like, what does that really mean? We haven't been here long enough to really know. So I don't particularly think our bodies come from monkeys. Like, I don't feel that's right. We're all going to feel things. You know, we can look at hardcore science, right? But some of the science standards, what bothers me is like, they're not allowed to go but so far out. bounds and find answers that even if they mean something before they're nipped in the bud, before they're just completely cut off and never to be seen again. So we will leave that there. Taking long naps. Yeah, I did that. I took an hour and a half nap today myself. Well, you did a good job, V, on it. You did a good job on. I haven't done any fancy ones yet. I just put the Our Appalachian Nightmare and Hank Blue. That's the only one I contributed to so far. You're I hate feeling so exhausted even after hydrating and taking my supplements. Yeah, I noticed that too. It's really weird. Shifting and transcending downloads, body aches, sleepy all the time. Yeah, that's true too. Is Bigfoot real? So my take on Bigfoot is he is a interdimensional thing. Like, that's why I don't think they really find a whole lot about them. There may be different types of Bigfoots. Could there be an animal that is similar, what we consider an animal? Potentially, but how I feel about Bigfoot and a lot of cryptids are they are interdimensional beings. And sometimes they're thought forms. Some cryptids could be thought forms. Thought forms can be created by, just like one time I saw an Ikatomi and I did not know what it was. I did not know its name. I was in the hospital, and I'm not the only person to have a story like this, by the way. I've talked to other people that have seen it too. And this is when I was still on the fence about the visions I was having. Like, was I a death angel? I had no fucking clue. Like, my knowledge, and it's only through divine spirit that, and I mean, I'm a booksy type person. Like, I did really well in school. Like, I can learn things. Like, anything I put my mind to, I can do, right? For the most part. But, yeah, basically, this was different. This thing was different. I was still on the fence. And I was in the hospital, laying beside a family member that was on a ventilator. This was during that time back in 2020. And everybody was on a ventilator in this area. And, yeah, I saw it in my mind's eye because had my head down on the bed. I had been up all night with this person, I had been up half the night and then got the call early morning to go. So I did. So I was tired and, laying there and I see, like, in my mind's eye in black and white, somebody, laying in the bed, and there was like this spider thing on them. Like, it was gross, okay? And I watched it. And I've learned when you go into these astral spaces, even if you're put into them without knowing any better, okay? Sometimes we're just put into these places. We don't choose to go. A lot of us are just put there. You have about 2 seconds before, if there's another entity or being there, before they realize you're there, most of the time. This can be different for every person, but for me, I have about 2 or 3 seconds before they realize I'm there. So I get the view, I'm there, and this thing saw me. And I thought I was losing my mind. It come down off the person, okay, and it's all dark, my mind's eye, and I'm seeing it, and it got bigger, and it had spider legs, a cockroach tail, like the movie Alien or whatever, like how it's maybe not, that's not the best thing, but like a beastly rib cage. You could see all the ribs and hunches in its back. But remember, it had a cockroach tail and it had a human head. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And it come after me, bro. It come at me, bro. Okay. And I'm getting the cold chills. Look, talking about it, it gives me cold chills. Because I'm sitting here and I had already been working on like pushing things out with light. So I was like at the very beginning of my journey here, which is the never ending story. That's basically what the fuck it is. Okay. So this thing went up my arm. I could feel it clairsentiently. And I was like, oh, hell no. Nah. And like I pushed it back in my mind. And it sounds crazy. Don't judge me. Some of y'all understand. Some of y'all don't. Okay, it's cool if you don't. Maybe somebody's seeing it. Maybe most of y'all here do, and I appreciate y'all letting me tell you this story. But I pushed it back with light and it went in a closet, like a medical closet, and shut the door. And I was like, not my mama, not today, you know, because I was sitting beside my mom. And yeah, I thought I was crazy until I opened up Teal Swan's deck. Can't remember the name of it now, but it told me there, and it looked just like, except the head was a little different, what I saw. And then one of my previous clients said when she worked in the hospital, she saw it too. It was created by a Native American tribe it was a trickster. It's like a trickster energy. And it was created to help with war as well. But they have been left unattended. So long story short, it's like a thought form that's been created. Um, okay, I will, Connie. It's like a thought form that could be created, but I don't think Bigfoot's like that. I think if Bigfoot is of its own thing, like it can be here and it can be somewhere else. Kind of like gnome type energy, like elemental. It's part of an elementally thing, in my opinion. Yes, it's a cryptid, but some cryptids cross into that elemental situation. Okay, I've talked long enough. Y'all probably got tons of comments I need to go through. Okay, dear, take care. Well, Kelly, okay, so if you're having paranormal, supernatural, reoccurring activity, that's where I can help you. So it's got to be I take it case by case, like when I take my cases, and we have like an hour, up to an hour long session. So if you're needing help with something like that, then you've come to the right place. I help people that are having ongoing paranormal scary attacks, and you can email me. There's links in the description box where you can get in touch with me. My email on that link tree, you got my email, you got my preferably email, Luminary Luna Beams at gmail.com, or you can message us on Lights at Midnight podcast at gmail.com. So that is the type of help or assistance that I can provide if you were interested. But it's all done on a scheduled basis, because I have got to the point where I have to schedule out things, like block my days out to like make things possible. So that would be how that works here. If you want to message us. Leo, you've been falling asleep too. Let's see. I got to get back down here. Where we at? And Kelly, if you're having, we can always send you right now, because I'm just seeing, I'm seeing your top message because it's zoomed down. We can all definitely send you love and light right now, dear. So I don't know if anybody wants to just participate in a little, sending Kelly a little love and light too, hoping that her day gets better. We really hope so, dear. Maybe I'm missing the conversation. Y'all are way ahead of me. Hold on. I'm getting there. I'm catching up. Very cool, Lisa. Rakes are freaky. The Hat Man, yeah, now that is an interdimensional being. Sorry, I'm still reading chats, y'all. Please bear with me. I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything. Kyle talks about Kurt Cobain. That'd be an interesting channel to do. That would be a very interesting channel to do one day. Yeah, again, guys, in the comment section, if you can remember, you don't have to, but for me to be able to go back and find every one of them, if you made the suggestion in the live chat, I might not find it. But if y'all have a topic you want us to maybe look into or cover, put it in the comment section under this video, So, like, once it ends or now you can back out, you should be able to. I don't know if you can right this moment, but you should be able to back out at any moment and do that. Put it in the comments there so we don't forget, because that would be actually a really cool idea, Kyle. Thank you. Chupacabras. I think there's a truth to everything, because even if it wasn't the thought form, there could be truth to everything. Of course, sometimes people are, you know, fudging, lying, or whatever. But the chupacabra, I think it actually would be. I think it's an actual animal. I really do. But is there a thought form that could have been created? Yes. And when you get into Hispanic culture and you get into their cryptids and stuff, like, it gets really heavy. Because a good friend of mine is of he's 100% full-blooded Guatemalan, and the things that I've heard, ooh, I have seen, like, looking back into it, I'm seeing like what we would call a skinwalker, you know. uh, People don't like that word, but just remember that's generally for the land of where it was created or where it rules. A lot of times they don't really, from my knowledge and what I've learned from somebody, um, they stay on the land. They're not just out roaming freely everywhere. So, but you still something to be respected. There's things like that in the and in that culture, where people learned how, like, these ancient practices and stuff, and they could actually shapeshift into animals. And I have seen that with my mind's eye looking back, and the stories that I heard were crazy. So yeah, I think so, but I see the chupacabra as being an actual evasive, like, animal, or it's an animal that is normal that looks messed up, like a bear without hair. But I think for some reason Spirit's coming in and saying, like, there's two different versions of a chupacabra. So B says your dog may be a chupacabra. Whose dog? You're talking about our dog? Oh, I read the rest of your message, Connie. Never mind. You're talking about Connie. Yeah, that is funny. She's a good chupacabra. You could dress her up as a chupacabra for Halloween, just for funsies. That's funny. Dog. Lawn. I'm reading again, guys. Bear with me. I'm sorry to hear that, Kelly. There's a lot of changing coming up in the seventh house too right now. Specifically, right now, I've heard a lot about that with Venus coming back around and Mercury and stuff like that. Um, I hope it all works out, but no matter what happens, go with your gut. And I normally don't do relationship stuff because I tell people the truth. I try not to sugarcoat things, and I can't. Like, I'm very open and honest with people, and a lot of times I don't want to be the cause of something, you know what I'm saying? But I will say this, just follow your gut no matter what's going on. Follow your heart, follow your gut. Sometimes our heart can lead us places that our mind never would. So just bear that in mind. Follow your gut, follow that intuition, and it will lead you to where you need to be. Okay, getting back down. Yeah, I'll have to show V the picture for sure, Connie. Oh, that's cool. They have spiders in the Navajo in the Southwest. That's cool. Yeah, you're welcome to, dear. Sending you much love. Talking to Kelly. Let's see. I'm getting there. I'm almost to the bottom. Yeah, Flexina, I got that too. I think some sightings about the chupacabra was like dogs or bears or something with, like you said, like mange or something like that. But Spirit's saying there's two different types. I don't know. The cryptids is something that I know about, but it's not something that I've studied in depth. I'm just being 100% honest. It's not something, a road that I've went down, but it's a road that I want to go down. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just something, and it is a blanket term. I'm not going to say everything is, that's just what spirit has told me to, like, tell people and relay back to people. But I do believe that these things deserve to be looked at on a case by case basis, just like with clients in cases. Like, I have a plethora of cases now, and you find patterns and things, and I find that actually really fun, finding the patterns. And it's not like fun to have to go through all that with a client. That's not what I mean. So please don't somebody listen to this and run with that. I think it's fun to go through and find the patterns, because that's the fun part. Because once you find these patterns, you can find what's causing them. You can get down to the origin and figure out how to help somebody. But with the paranormal, when you're having situations, it's always up to the individual. It's always up to the individual that you're helping. They have to be willing to take the help. They have to take accountability and responsibility. Sometimes that's addiction. Sometimes, and it could be addiction not just to drugs, to multiple things. It can be bad habits. It could be, getting stuck in a funk. Like, sometimes when you get in a funk, you like to stay there. You get comfortable in that funk. And when you come out of it, you're so used to that pattern of being in a bad mood that it's like, wait a minute, I'm not sad right now, and then your brain just reverts back to, like, well, what about this? What about this? And that can be intrusive thoughts. So, there's just a process here. Oh, yeah, Onyx is the name of our dog. She's a chupacabra. I'm gonna dress her up. I know if I dressed her up, I'm not gonna do that. I wish I could make a costume, chupacabra costume. That'd be fun. Look, these are the things I want to do with my life, but I don't have time. So if I do, I'll send pictures to y'all at Halloween. I can't, Connie. Unfortunately, I can't look because the picture is on this device. So as soon as the live ends, I promise you I'll show him. Because the only way that I can look at it is on the device that I'm staring at right now. Or I'd have done showed him. She heard her name. Onyx is probably pissed because she's not laying here in my floor on the foot of my bed. Ooh. Mac. Welcome. So you very well could be seeing grids, energy grids, and they'll look different for everybody. It's something that I learned a while back. And energy grids can look different ways, but it makes sense that they're honeycombs. It's that six-sided energy. It's almost like what's it called? Like Metatron's cube, or it can fit inside of a honeycomb, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But that shape, seeing an energy grid like that makes a lot more sense than squares. I personally see them in squares because I'm thinking of a grid, but we'll interpret that different. And kinds of translucent white and red. Well, different colors have different meanings and spirit. So some of them could be broken down, some of them could be perfect. When I see grids, sometimes I see them as red. So energy grids in different places. It depends on how you're seeing them, though. Like, are you seeing them within the room? Are you seeing them within like your mind's eye, or is it when you're thinking about a space? Because when you say honeycombs, it could be that you're seeing energy itself or the makeup of energy. Because I don't know if you're seeing grids or not. So that's just what it reminds me of.
I was actually asking if you would ask about that. The energy part. Like, what was the context of what he meant that in? Like,
so everything has an energy grid. Everything has a grid. Our houses and everything. Anything we set up, we you know, we kind of learn how to manipulate energy. We manipulate energy every day just by being alive to a degree. Some people can manipulate, yeah, and it could be vibration, frequency, which is sound. Color has frequency. We are vibrating, so it's some type of energy. Yeah, Onyx is her name, right? And I'll tell you something funny, y'all. This is just between us. Okay. It's just the neighbor next door. So we had our dog for like a year, and they get a dog. They name it Onyx. I don't think they knew, but it's a possibility because the little girl next door, like, we got a trampoline, and the neighbors had to get a trampoline because they had a little girl that
They started with the swing set.
Yeah, it started with a swing set. Then it went to the trampoline. Then it went to the dog, and we're like, it had to be the little girl next door because she was a titty bit younger, like a tiny titty bit younger than my youngest.
Titty bit.
Yeah, titty bit. Titty bit. She was a little bitty, titty bitty. Yeah, Mac, if you can, it depends on how you've seen it. Like, it could mean a lot of, not a lot of different things, but I would say within a couple things, it could be energy grids. You can see them with your eyes open or your eyes closed.
What state?
Yeah, like
sleep or close to sleep.
Well, you can get the same kind of visions close to, like, in between states of sleep and being fully conscious, because
I'm saying that as adding one to that.
yeah, it just depends on kind of what context and how you're seeing it. So, like, if it's just random, that might be your way of your third eye opening, because some people go through having like a bunch of colors and stuff as the first level of their third eye actually opening. I know I did.
It's almost like me, the same as me creating shapes with music when I'm playing in my head. The colors and the shapes together, they create grids.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I don't know if, could y'all hear him?
Probably not.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, that could just be like third eye type stuff opening, because there's different levels. So, like, I had it to where there was like colors and shapes, and no, I was not on any substances like that to see those colors and shapes. Okay, so it was just normal. It was just normal. And then, like, it went to, like, I would see outlines of people or shadow people, then I would see more details in black and white, and then I could tell the difference between positive and negative, because the psychic symbols that were set up, excuse me, for me, that would mean higher vibrational, lower vibrational, but there's some in betweens, which probably, oh God, I'm gonna burp to death. Hold on. Okay. It could be that I might need, that's why I need to do this class and get this journal done. I need a swift kick in the ass to get all this done. Or I can't drink Red Bull anymore. Coffee's it. That's it. I'm none. But I need to get it done. But then it moved to like color, and it was 2-dimensional, but now it's moved into sometimes 3-dimensional, just laying there like in between sleep and awake. And it's not like a dream. Like, sometimes it's like 3-dimensional. Like, before the trip to Bobby Mackey's, I was having some 3D experiences in between that asleep and awake. That sounds beautiful. Thank you, Brittany. Oh, okay. Yeah, that is interesting. The fact that you saw it like that, like, if you both saw it, it could have been something manipulated an energy grid in your house, is my best guess. Without tapping in and channeling in, there's some energy there. It could have been energy between you and him, or you and her, or what. I'm not sure. I don't know, whoever it was. But yeah, it could be something like that.
It can also be the beginning stages of him opening up to psychic vision.
Yeah, but she just wrote, and then it changed colors, but we saw something and we both ended up scared for like 3 months. So they visually saw it.
Nothing you see that makes you scared is good.
Yeah.
I can say that much.
Yeah, if it's a shared experience, then yeah. It could be something messing or manipulating with the energy itself. Because I thought it was like an experience you had. So you'd be seeing energy grids, but you're still seeing the energy grids. Some way, shape, or form. It's almost portal-y type vibes. Because that's how I personally see the red and the white and the what you described has something to do with grids. It could be wrong. Could be something totally different. That's just from my experience.
I see it in strands. Like
My
strands.
head is so big on this. It's driving me nuts. At least my audio sounds a little better, right? Is this sacrificing my head for my audio here?
Well, don't go so loud when you do that because it could crack the audio.
Mm.
You gotta kind of be mindful of that.
Well, I'm a loud talker. I'll talk like this and very mundane
No, don't.
for the rest of the time.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Go away, let me finish my live because I am about to get off here for the night, guys. I've almost been live for 2 hours. Let's see. I see.
That was a very good question, though.
That it was, yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not channeling right now. Kind of blocked all that off, and I wasn't prepared. But I will say, I feel confident that something was disturbing the energy grids in your house. That's what I will say. Connie, I see images in the space between my eyes and my eyelids when my eyes are closed. Yeah, exactly. And sometimes it'll literally be like, how can I say this? It's so hard to explain. So if you were a 3D camera, okay, imagine your consciousness as a 3D camera that could see all the way around. Like sometimes like that, or you feel like you're in this three-dimensional space and you're at the back of it.
Like viewing a 360 camera, you can move around in all directions and see an image that's frozen in time, basically.
It says,
or actually can change as well.
I saw a white light circle, but my boyfriend from his angle thought he saw something crawl up on the bed. Well, then, yeah, something was coming through a portal.
Oh, 100.
That was portal. Energy grids. Portals can interfere with the energy grids. That's the kind of stuff that I won't really go too far in online. And it's something that just happens. And this is not to be an asshole. This ain't about money. This ain't about nothing but like understanding there are energy grids, and if they are messed with, it can cause a lot of problems. If you don't know what you're doing and you go in and try to repair energy grids, you can cause a lot of problems. So it's something that I would teach like on a more advanced level, and I have to find the right words to do that with.
A lot has to do with understanding water and the flow of water. Good start.
Oh, wow. Did it just start over? No. It just zeroed all the way back to 1. Is that normal? I've never used YouTube for a live. I've always used StreamYard. But it literally took my timer all the way back from 2 hours or whatever. It just literally started my timer over. That was so weird. But yeah, it can be very interesting to learn about energy grids. But as far as like diving really deep into them, it's a tough one. That's something I'd have to talk about with people that already. And it's nothing against anybody, but there's only so far I'm willing to go with it publicly. Advanced. Yeah, and I can't even sit here and say that. It's just something sometimes that happens with my guides and stuff too during clearings. It's really weird. It's a very interesting thing though. I don't blame you for moving. I'd have moved too. I used to live in the trailer house of hell.
No, that was fun.
Lena sees herself sometimes sleeping, like I'm on the roof in the room. Yeah, 3D. Well, yes, sometimes, because that's like, which I'm sure you probably know, like astral projecting and stuff like that, or stepping up out of your body. But actually, sometimes it's like, it's not just seeing myself, it's like there's this space. When I close my eyes and I allow it, or sometimes I don't allow it, there's this space And it's not like I'm in the space. It's like the space is the space. It's like everywhere. It's omnipresent in a way when you close your eyes. And that space is where sometimes during meditation, I can be visited or get. That space is also like the in between of where, this is what Spirit's telling me. It's the in between of where I get my psychic visions. It's a psychic space, but it's not like contained to a room. It's not contained to anything like that.
Question. For you, is it anything like, for me, it's a dark room until I focus on whatever I focus on, and then it like brightens up in the room, like in the area.
No, it depends. It just depends on what I'm dealing with and what I'm doing. And most of the time, if it looks nasty or ugly, I don't give it much time before it's gone.
Oh, no, I was just curious.
No, I mean, it all depends on your psychic symbols and all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess mine's more like pulling off a veil. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to look a little bit different for everybody, like, and that's okay. That's the thing, as humans, we want to set these parameters and these boundaries, and we have to, right? Because we live in this space. But we also live in like different levels of space. And it's okay, but we can't always fit this shit in a box. Like, I can tell you my experiences and I can give you like the way it worked for me. And if you don't resonate with that, that's okay. That doesn't mean I'm wrong or you're wrong. It's fine. It's fine. That's just kind of how this works. Now, there's some things I will fight people tooth and nail on, right? But I'm not going to be a bitch about it.
Yeah,
but
there are universal things.
Yeah, there are things that I will fight people tooth and nail on about the paranormal. I'll be like, no, it's not a good idea, because I have had hundreds of people, and let's say out of 100 people, 35 have said the same thing about that specific thing, and it didn't turn out well. When I see those odds, I note those things down. So some of the advice that we give comes from that too. So just like knowing, and a lot, I mean, 50-60% of the people, thank you, Cassie, for turning me on to the Black Cauldron, but this is her saying, but I have to say it because she's right. They fucked around and found out, and it didn't go well. Okay, so. Yeah, definitely. I'd have moved too, girl. I bet you do, Cassie. You have some visions going on. Yeah, I mean, and I mean that's one way you can see it, Lena. Like, it could be that way for you, and that's the way you astral project. I don't do that very often.
I'm too scared to.
I'm not an astral projector. I'm not comfortable doing it, and some people are just natural. It's a part of who you are in your gifts. So, like Emily, this is when I wish Emily could have been here, because she could have talked about that astral projection part. She does that very well. But we have learned from practice and stuff, it's also can be dangerous because you're opening up pathways. You can actually, I remote view. So I do more, and Emily can too, but she's stronger in the dream world. I'm stronger in like the present waking, like remote viewing astral travel. I travel when I'm conscious, where I need to travel. And that's when I travel in to try to repair and stuff, which I've actually took a break from. I mean, let me just be honest with y'all. I have thought about dropping the astral help because it does take a toll. And I can't help everybody. And I have really struggled with that lately. Like doing just the teaching and the coaching. And that's just me being real and me being vulnerable with y'all right now. Not really vulnerable, but maybe just being really honest. It's been tough. It has been tough lately because you get people that don't really want to take the advice, but then when something else bad happens, then they want this fix, or they're wondering why this didn't work. And you can't teach people, sometimes people need more help than we can provide. Like more help than just paranormal help. They need a multifaceted, you need mind, body, spirit. And that's the tough part of this. So I might still do it. I probably will, but it's going to be one of those things where I have to be spiritually led to do it. I will not ever make like a promise that I can try to do my best, because even when I try to do my best, if they don't do what they do, then it can come back on me and like my business and stuff like that. And I'm saying it publicly. I don't really, it's nothing crazy or mean or anything like that, but that's just some of the things that me and Emily both have faced doing this type of work. Not to mention the backlash we can get sometimes for doing this type of work in the spirit. I've cleared somebody's house, like perfectly cleared it. They were happy. And 30 minutes later, I get a call from V, and this box at Amazon randomly just busted in his face with OxyClean in it. He had to go to the emergency room. It almost blinded him. Yeah, that happens. Things happen like that. But when you have things like that happen multiple times, it gets tough. That's the only thing. And that happened a lot more, I'd say, towards the start of what I do. It's kind of actually settled down over the last year, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Over the last year, but at first,
I have a lot to do with that, though.
well, yeah, it could be. It's part of when you do this type of work, and even if you're the person on the receiving end, if you live with people and you want paranormal help or you're having paranormal issues, everybody in that house has to be on board with this, or it's a good possibility it won't work. It's rooted in trauma and family systems. Like when we say mind, body, spirit, and who is in your life really has an effect over you. When you're having paranormal activity, take a good look and find the problems in your life. If it's not, it can be us, of course. Sometimes it can be other people.
The smallest attachment is resistance.
Yeah.
And it's the most subtle attachment. You don't realize it's there until it's already caused damage. But it is something that can be undone as long as you're willing to work towards being disciplined, like towards staying in that state of, I want this change. I want to keep going for this. Because if you turn back or you take 1 second to be like, okay, this is my cheat day or something like that, and you let it go, or you let it out, or you let that one part of you that you're trying to change out of the box, it's going to get easier and easier to do it the next time. You have to stay constant on yourself in order for it to work. Nothing comes without sacrifice. To gain something, you must sacrifice something. Therefore, to gain wisdom, you have to sacrifice going through things and learning things in order to get that. Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to go off on that, but I just thought that was important.
I was just reading the comments, trying to catch up, because I get on tangents, and I look, and the comments are they're not that bad, obviously, and I encourage y'all to continue to comment. I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying, trying to catch up while he was talking. Motion pictures in your head, yeah. It's very common. More people have it than they really realize, because we all have access. We are all spiritual. And something that I learned, along the way, is not everybody's of light. Not everybody's of a light soul. They have the potential to be, but sometimes we have to come here and walk that path of darkness. And some people, this is kind of weird to say, but some people may not even have light in them at all. So, I'm starting to believe that more and more, for different reasons. The most interesting thing about all this is when you start talking about darkness and the paranormal and everything that falls into spooky stuff, there's just so many different layers. It's impossible to figure it all out. Everything has its own thing. You can group things together, but stuff just morphs together. It's an individual case by case basis. But sometimes, a lot of times, there is repetitiveness and stuff like that too. And I'm reading down. Cassie said she used to do that as a little girl, but got scared. It is scary. And yes, it irritates me too when everything says demon, demon, demon. At Bobby Mackey's, for example, I really think there was a demon there. And I still think that there is something very close, not like Prince of Hell type demon, but there is a lower vibrational entity. Sorry, I didn't want to booger y'all up on screen, but there is a lower, very lower vibrational entity there that is not 100% well. I think the dark thing, the really dark thing, comes and goes. I don't think it's always there. That's one thing about certain beings, but there is something really, really dark that came into that room. I could not breathe. My chest felt like it was being crushed. And then other people, um, Ethan had that problem when that thing walked through the door. And I realized something too, Brittany. He was the closest to the door when he started feeling that pain, besides Riley. But Riley has like this big light of protection around him, like huge protection around him. So, yeah.
I'm gonna tell them. I'll
Not
tell them this one thing.
No.
What? Well, it's
Get
not
out.
in Bobby Mackey's. It's
He's gonna start telling all our Bobby Mackey secrets.
Look, on our way to Bobby Mackey's. Nope. They won't even remember by the time it comes out.
Oh, they're y'all are very
I'm sure they
attentive.
remember.
I know you'll remember.
That was like a touch of sarcasm.
Go ahead. It's fine.
On the way up there, we were riding in the car to pick up the rental car, and out of nowhere, we just got this huge whiff of alcohol. Like an alcoholic was in the back seat of our car.
Yeah, it was. I mean, literally right before we pulled up.
And I thought it was Carl. It felt like Carl. I seen him in my head just the same way and everything. But Chasity swears up and down it was Carl. And after I got to Bobby Mackey's, I believe it. I believe that wasn't Carl.
I knew Carl was gone. I knew it.
I kept having something tell me that it was going to meet me there before we got there too, and I never got anything while I was there on that. So
it was the energy was so scrambling. I don't know how anybody could hardly pick up anything in there. It was very hard.
It was really hard too. It was very scattery.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty good at what I do when it comes to paranormal. But I, some people go deeper than I go, but I have boundaries, right? So could I go deeper sometimes with things? Yes. It's generally because I choose not to, right? And I know when to play and when to get the fuck away.
They were giving us enough activity as
it
was.
And I'm not going to say anything besides this, but at Bobby Mackey's, like, I chose to stop at a certain point.
Is alive.
Yeah, and breathing.
It is very alive.
All right. I'm going to finish up this live really fast, guys. I'm going to look at these comments because I appreciate y'all hanging out with us tonight. And I'm so sorry Emily couldn't make it. I know she's probably still sleeping and getting her rest. And so hopefully by next month, we'll try to do one in July that me and her can do together. Let's see. Hey, Megan. She said, hey, Chas, I think if you want to continue helping with serious cases, you need to change and charge for your time. Yeah, I know. It's tough. Like, that's the only case. Those are the only cases that I don't charge for. And to be 100% honest, it levels out. A lot of people that have seeked for paranormal help, I always say donations are welcome, but it helps because the people that need my help, they can't afford it, they send me love and light, or I learned something new and the benefit of helping people. But I've thought about that. But, at the same time, there are people that I've helped that send me a donation. And I found that it pretty much levels out. But I do understand what you're saying, Megan. And I'm not saying that you're wrong at all. I go on that principle of like how can I say this? When I need it the most, something happens. And spirit has yet to fail me on that. I can be sitting here with zero money in my bank account, and the next thing I know, I might get depressed or sad, and the next thing I know, somebody's in my inbox wanting a reading. Sometimes it's been paranormal stuff, and it was a free thing, and it didn't matter to me because I know at the end of the day, what's going to happen is going to happen, and I'm going to be taken care of. So that's pretty much why I don't charge, for paranormal stuff. And I do, if I could do this work for free all the way around, I would. If I could, I would. But unfortunately, I can't. It's tough. That was the hardest thing for me to do. I did it for 2 years for free and sometimes on donation base before I ever did, but it got to the point where I had to because this is my full-time job. Hey, Hellcat. Sorry, I'm reading comments. My big fat head, like, ever on the way here. Yeah, Flexina, and that used to be more of a problem, and I think it was somewhat of a me problem, not setting my boundaries too. It's just when I say like helping people paranormally, the teaching part and helping people and telling them what's in their house and stuff, that's one thing. But going into their space and expending that type of energy in a remote viewing way, and sometimes I go into people's spaces and I don't see anything at all, and that tells me they're really the root of the problem. So that's really hard to tell people sometimes, honestly. I know that sounds crazy, but it is. It is, and it's just I don't know. Sometimes I've really thought about like I get discouraged or get down about the stuff, not about life or anything like that in terms of the paranormal, just about the paranormal cases and stuff, and I'm like I should just quit. But then something in the back of my head's like, nope, you got to keep going because it is part of my purpose. I do know that I'll be moving more into light work. Like I'm not done with the paranormal by any means. I don't know if I ever will be done with the paranormal, right, in that field because some mediums only work in the light. I'm not meant to just work in the light. Even though I can work on both sides. I work with light beings only, but I have to still kind of communicate with darkness. And as y'all will find out, and I have a feeling this is going to keep happening every time I go somewhere. When I tell you these like portal boxes, I had somebody come on there and say, well, if you're a real medium, you don't need these portal boxes. You just need a tape recorder. You're right. I don't. I don't need them. I really don't need them. I do it for entertainment purposes. Enlighten, educate, entertain. Education and entertainment across really the board. I pull those things in for funsies and for people. Plus, I've been a nerd of the paranormal, but it's really, and they said that on our Appalachian Nightmare, but it's like, hey, guy, I did this for so many years and I don't need anything. I don't. And it's not a pride thing. It's just you got these people coming out of the woodwork. They see one video and they think they know everything about you. I just gave them the link. I said, just go check out my other work. If you're really interested, it speaks for itself. It's fine. And then you have people, that say dumb shit. And that's hard sometimes, but I've learned how to get over that too. Most of the time. Yeah, most of the time I get over it pretty quick. Hey, Hellcat. Yes, there are different levels of astral traveling. For sure. Connie says, I feel you on the mind, body, and spirit. Flexina says, it does not feel okay. Oh, yeah, I've already read that. Sorry. I'm really bad at comments. I try super hard, guys. Celtics won. Woohoo. I'm excited to hear about your time in Kentucky. Yes. We'll be talking a little bit more about it Wednesday on our Appalachian Nightmare or on Nightmare or on Down South Supernatural. So we'll be going live on both pages. So wherever you end up finding yourself, I will be there Wednesday. And then Thursday or Friday, I haven't decided which. Well, Thursday, I might not be able to do it. I might have to do the full moon stuff on the full moon. So that should probably be Friday because I have some responsibilities to take care of Thursday. Good night, Connie. Much love and light. Talk to you soon. It's fine. Exactly. Loyalty. Exactly. And I donate my time, that part of my time and energy. And really, I donate a lot of my time, to be quite frank. And I have friends in this too. I don't consider that donating my time. But people that contact me, I'm not the type of person that generally turns somebody away. Because, I just can't, like, unless I feel, spirit will tell me. Spirit will tell me what's what, who's who. Very well protected in that way. I sniff bullshit from 100 feet away. Probably more than that. Actually, if you're more than 100 feet from me, I can smell your bullshit. So, and sometimes I'll entertain it just for fun. Rarely do I ever these days get got. It doesn't happen. Let's see, Hellcat. There has to be an even exchange of energy, but you're correct. Energy exchange can be anything. Yes, definitely. Tammy, you're amazing. Well, thank you, girl. I try to put money in the karma bank. I'm trying really hard. I don't know what I did in my past life. Maybe I done something wild. I don't know what I did, but no, I'm just picking. No, I'm happy with the work that I do, and I'm really trying to um, go all the way with it. Like, sitting here having this ability to do certain things, there's no reason I should be sitting in this house. And I've realized that I should be, or at least sitting here helping people or communicating with people. Like, I did not want to do this. I've told y'all that I did not want to sit in front of a camera because I'm not shy. I'm not a shy person if you meet me in person, but I did not like being on video camera and stuff like that. I had to get over that. It's like, whatever. People are going to love or they're going to hate, and I don't care either way. They're going to see me if you see me out in public, except looking like a damn balloon at Bobby Mackey's, but it's going to happen. So, yeah, I didn't ever think I would do it like this, at this kind of work, but it's important. It's very important. I had to get over that fear. We let fear step in our way, and we can't. It doesn't mean go like jump off a bridge without a tether or nothing. That just means like don't let fear hold you back. So it's really important. It's super important to not live in a state of fear. You got the news and certain angles coming at you, like trying to put fear in your head to lower your vibration. They do that. They pump that out through every way to get information to you every day. Don't live in fear. Yeah. Yeah. Healers need help too, as well. That's true. Your healer needs a healer, and your healer needs a healer needs a healer. Everybody needs help. You're never in this work, or we're never too big to not accept help. That's the truth. Yes, NT. I've had that happen um, a couple times. I was able to validate through the spirit box and all kinds of stuff, which is fun. That's the fun part to me. I mean, it's not always fun getting cussed out, but it's interesting. Right. Yeah, it sucks. But it is what it is. Well, guys, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me tonight. We got 28 people in the chat, and I appreciate you guys connecting, watching. You can connect with Lights at Midnight on all of our socials. If you're not subscribed to Lights at Midnight, please subscribe. Look, I finally learned how to do somewhat of a heart. It's still kind of a triangle, weird one, but I got it. Okay, we're the last time I checked, I think we're 25 or 26 subscribers away from 1K. If you can subscribe, or if you have a friend that can subscribe, we gotta get these last 25, because this is what's standing in our way from monetization. Basically, we've already got our watch hours. We're there. Like, we're here. The rocket is like at 10.98. We're at 3. The rocket's about to take off, guys. So that would be fantastic. Trying to think of anything else. Yeah, sending Emily much love and light. Hoping she's feeling better. I hate she couldn't be here tonight. Sucks. Y'all literally had to deal with my big ass head tonight. I remember that from now on. It said do it vertical, and I think it's because of this, but the way I got it set up, I have to film vertical anyways. I know there wasn't a ton of questions, but I hope that the questions that I answered were able to give you a little bit of insight. Um, Thank you, dear. I appreciate that. Lena, thank you. I'm happy to do it. Thank you, Autumn Moon. And y'all are too. There's several people in this chat right here I know or have talked to personally. Yeah, they love vertical. That's what I can't do it. Stop it. That's why I gotta get off the YouTube. I do too. I'm trying to think. We should have a new video coming out next Monday. So let me go ahead and give y'all my thoughts. I told Emily I think we should do Paranormal Quest because a lot of our viewers watch Paranormal Quest. And right now, Paranormal Quest is actually, and this is like kind of a favor, not really a favor, but if you don't watch Paranormal Quest, go check them out. I think they're legit. And I like to support legit people in the spooky community. They probably don't even know I exist, but I would like to say that, yes, I like their videos. They're kind of struggling on views right now, and they're being very open about it. So I would like to do a reaction. I mean, I know we're not going to get that potentially that far with it, but it could make a little difference. And if we can help somebody that does real legit work in the paranormal community, at least the work they believe in, they believe to what they're dealing with is 100% factual, I can appreciate that, right? I don't really like oh God, it's taking me back to Bobby Mackey's. I did a chair experiment and Spirit showed me something, and I'm not going to bust anybody's balls here. But I did a chair experiment at Bobby Mackey's, and I will let y'all fill in the blanks there. I saw somebody pushing it and something else. Not with my eyeballs, but in my mind's eye. We're going to leave that one there. I'm not even going to touch it. I'm not about the drama. I try to keep my thoughts and opinions to myself if they're not nice. I support, everyone and what they do, but when there's a lot of misinformation, and you're going to find that in this video, there's some things that are going to be cleared up about Bobby Mackey's, and that's going to be coming from Laura, Gatekeeper Paranormal. I think that's it. Lauren or Laura. Crap. Forgive me, Laura. I think it's Laura. Shit. Gatekeeper Paranormal. That's it. It finally come to me. She cleared up a lot of stuff, and it makes sense. And you will be hearing that from us. We're going to have to tell the truth. Like, I can't go in here and fudge anything about Pearl or, the portal to hell. I'm not going to do it. But what I will give y'all is the evidence and the truth that I feel and see. I mean, and that's just, from my perspective and what we captured. But when I tell you there was something dark there, I did not finish one of the things because of it. It's not because of fear. Like fear, I was a little fearful, to be 100% honest. But at the same time, my guardian showed up. I know better. I'm not going to, I'm already fucking around and finding out enough by being there. I'm not going to fuck around and find out. I know when enough is enough. I'm not going to be that dumbass YouTuber that's like, oh, it's got a portal to hell, and we're going to jump in it and dance around in it, and then you like cave in and they never find your ass because you got dragged straight to hell. That's not going to be me. Okay? See this big head, this big face? It's not going to be me. Okay? Okay. But yes, I think that's it. Yeah. If you want to connect with me and Emily, it's all in the description box. I started doing that. I'm trying to think. Trivet Clinic coming up for me personally. Emily, I'm trying to think what Emily told me. She's really going to start pushing like her incense and stuff like that on her website and stuff of the such, and just keep making her YouTube videos. That's all I really know about what she's got going on at the moment. Because we try to update you guys for our personal stuff, and then Lights at Midnight, we're trying to do a video once a week and a live at least once a month. That might replace a video. Thank you to all the new members. Y'all are helping us reach our goals. We're trying to put that money back in to go places. So, yay for Lights at Midnight. And then I've got a merch store, and I'm getting ready to start a Patreon for our Appalachian Nightmare, where y'all get a lot of bonus footage from where we're going. So that's kind of the new deal. As far as the audio part of the podcast, we're trying to think about how we want to relaunch that. Because it doesn't take up a lot of time, but we want to make sure we're bringing you guys things that you want to watch, or at least have a good consecutive idea, because we ran out of stories before we were ready for season 2. So we do not want to run out of stories now. So we're getting all that taken care of, guys. So you'll be seeing more of our faces here on YouTube. Laura, Gatekeeper Paranormal. Thank you, Brittany. I might have missed that earlier. Yeah, Bobby Mackey's NT was crazy. Like in that video, that video, I'm trying to have it come out June 28th, which is a Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same time I went live tonight. It's the same time that video should drop. It may be earlier. I'll have to look back and see when I dropped it. I think it's 9 p.m. on Friday because I try to make it after Paranormal Nightmare airs because a lot of the paranormal folks are over there watching him. So y'all can watch them and then come over and watch ours on our Appalachian Nightmare. I did not copy them. Spirit gave me that name. They had me write it down and make the email for that YouTube. They had me write it down, make the email, make the YouTube. Like they were pressing. They're like, write this down, bitch. Do it. I'm like, fine, I'm going to do it. No, I'm kidding. But it's kind of like that, but not quite. Okay, I'm a little dramatic. Yes, Autumn Moon. She shared something with me to where there's a subscription setting, and I'm going to have to look more into it because I kind of understand what you're saying, Autumn, but they unsubscribed people in a way. And if they didn't unsubscribe, like your notifications, you're not going to get the same notifications you were a year ago because they reset everybody's crap. And I'm going to look more into that. Right. I do not want to go viral for getting, I mean, yeah, I probably would. Poor Lil. That'd be good for some effects. But yeah, that would really suck. Coffee mug in shop. Yeah, he's really proud of his coffee mug, y'all, and his shirts. He did a really good job. Never leave it behind. Amen. Sweetest of dreams. All right, guys. Until next time, you know what me and Emily do. And since she's not here, I'm going to throw up too. Peace out. Bear with me. I got to figure out how to end this live. Where is it at? There it is. Bye.